Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to Secretary Duffy for being here today. And it's great to have the opportunity to speak to you on the phone yesterday. I want to start by discussing the review of the competitive grant awards, as we discussed on the phone, and the guidance issued by the Department of Transportation on March 11th outlined the process of reviewing projects for grant awards that are not yet finalized. So this has caused significant disruption for a number of our projects in Arizona, including the replacement of the 22nd Street Bridge in Tucson. I was on the phone with the mayor of Tucson yesterday about this, Regina Romero. And this 22nd Street Bridge project replaces an outdated bridge for cars that are going over Union Pacific's main Southern Transcon rail line in Tucson. Needs to be replaced. There are cars, or there are certain size trucks and emergency vehicles that can't go over this bridge. Not allowed. There's also a project in Arizona called, it's the widening of US Highway 93, which is one of the deadliest roadways in Arizona and part of what we call the future Interstate 11 between Phoenix and Las Vegas. Phoenix and Las Vegas are perhaps the two closest cities in the country, major cities that are not connected by an interstate highway. There's also the replacement of 4 bridges on Interstate 40 in northern Arizona that were not built to current standards. And then a reconfiguration of a 3-way interchange in the West Valley, that's outside of Phoenix, that also has an at-grade railway crossing and is one of the most congested intersections in the state. There's also a project that widens US Highway 95 to address a decades-long problem of traffic and unsafe roadway conditions between the city of Yuma and the Army's Yuma Proving Grounds in southern Arizona. And then there's more than a dozen more. I could go on. I'm not going to do that. I've sent you and your staff a full list of these priority projects. And I'll note all of these projects were announced before Election Day, not after. None of them were selected for political reasons. They were selected because they're important to my state and they meet the purposes of these congressionally authorized grant programs. They repair bridges, they reduce congestion, they improve safety. And based on your testimony and our prior conversations, I'm pretty sure we agree those are the exact types of projects that should receive funding. And yet, for no fault of their own, these grant recipients in Arizona have had to wait several months now, not able to move forward on reviews or grant agreements and forced to delay their construction schedules. I just had a bunch of my constituents in the office today talking about and asking why have these things stopped? So Secretary Duffy, what updates can you give about when the internal review of grants that was laid out on March 11th will be completed?
So, Senator, again, I agree many of the projects, good projects. I think in total there's 44 awards that you received for $561 million in the state of Arizona. And they were awarded before Election Day. I would note many of these go back 2 and 3 years,
yes,
these projects. And so I love that you're saying that I can clean up 2 or 3 years of announcements in 2 months. That's a little bit challenging, but I am committing to you, like I did on the phone, I'm going to work through these projects.
Explain to me, what do you mean by clean up? What is required to clean them up? This was money appropriated by Congress, by Democrats and Republicans, grants that were awarded, and now things seem to have come to a halt on many of these projects.
So for obligated money, when there's an obligation, a grant agreement is signed or there was an earmark from Congress, all that money is still going out. There's been no pause, there's been no hold, there's been none, money's going per the law on those grant agreements. The unobligated money is the money where there's been an award, someone did a big announcement, hey, you get your project for the 22nd Street Tucson Bridge or road. And then it takes time to do the grant agreement. That's the actual work part of the process. So the announcement is easy. The grant agreement is the work. There's 3,200 of those projects that we have sitting at the department where the fun part was done with the announcement. We have to do the work of doing the grant agreement with the states. And we're going to work through that quickly, as quickly as possible, but it is a historically large number. And so I take your point, but you alone have 44 projects that were announced that don't have grant agreements on them. And a lot of you all have these projects, and you're all, I think, rightfully annoyed that the money's not coming, but many of them are years old. And again, if you're annoyed or concerned, I think the focus shouldn't be on me, it should be elsewhere, because we've been there 2 months, someone else was there for 4 years. And I'll work on those with you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.